Okay, this evening we're going to be talking about the idea that we're trying to share with the world, exploring math as medicine. We've been looking at some of the math that is going on now. For instance, the second strain of the coronavirus. We now know that the antidote for that is pycnogenol. By math, I figured out the code for the gene and the proteins, and then the antidote. And what it was going to be causing is bleeding, internal bleeding. And one of the things that can help strengthen the vascular system is pycnogenol, pine bark. So pass that along to people who need some information. Okay, I'm just getting a message here. If you can get to the chat, by all means, chat to us and let us know what's going on. But what we're doing is exploring math as medicine. We think is very, very important. When Bloomberg was running for president, he said one of the ways to balance the budget is to ration medication to older people. And since I'm one of the older people, I began to look at that and thought, if we can teach everyone to use math as medicine, insulin as math, if we could figure that out and teach everybody and get them to take the classes, the free classes, and learn to use it, maybe we could be ready when it comes upon us that we could use math as medicine. James Gates is his name. He's from Brown University, I think, and he did a study about plants, and he and his students for the summer, and found out within the plant's DNA that there is a code, a mathematical code that's used to cure people and use as a computer code to correct the code that they found. So if you ever see anything by him, it's Sigmund James Gates, and he deals with symmetry. But what he pointed to is that we are math-based, carbon-based robots. And I thought that was pretty interesting because that's one of the things that we do. We look at the frequencies of your voice, which really are managed through the laryngeal nerves that go through the parasympathetic nervous system, and everything in your body is dictated and managed by math. We just found a way to pop into that system, and if you have an eye problem, help your body with the math that it needs to reverse that eye issue. Macular degeneration is one of them, incurable by conventional medicine, but we can provide frequencies to people and reverse their loss of vision. So we've been able to prove that we can use frequency and help people's bodies through entraining the brain. And one of the things we want to talk to you about this evening is entraining your liver. Because without your liver, or your liver in stress, it's pretty much a disaster. Because the liver is like the warehouse where you go to get all of the information on how to, and all of the supplies to fix the body, hormones, including reproductive and digestion, and everything that you need to metabolize, not everything, most everything you need to metabolize things that are going on in your system, including oxygen, which is one of the things that's being dampened by 5G. It's coming in to disturb the iron of the body, and the iron helps the body carry oxygen. So we're going to be talking about fatty liver and what it's really doing to the body, because I'm very, very concerned that your health has become a business and it's money oriented rather than health oriented. And I can see in some big corporations, they have to think of the money first, and you're just the side effect. We 20 years ago or so, we did a study on the local hospital here because a lot of their people were coming down with a virus that was attacking the heart. And 2 of the people locally came to us, and we were able to help get their heart into good rhythm. So I thought, you know, this started in the hospital. A man that came to us, he was put in a room with somebody who was going to have a heart transplant. And the guy also had a virus, and the same virus that our client got. And we were able to help him and his family and the other people in his family who contracted it. So I went to the local hospital and I said, this is what we've been able to do. I'd like to offer it to you guys. Here it is. This is what we need. He stood up and he said, so you're trying to tell me how to lose my stockholders' money. I didn't know hospitals had stockholders. And so I stood up and sort of creeped out of the room backwards and said, oh, just wrong door. I really was here about people's health, not about money. But that taught me that health is a business. And those of us who are affected, influenced by matters of health, that really matters to us. I think health is much more important than wealth. And the people that we have helped seem to think the same thing, that it's much more important to have your health than to have a vault full of money. I wrote a chapter of a book called Business of Disease, and it's what we forgot to remember about how to be healthy. You can find it on Amazon, Business of Disease. So we're going to talk about the liver, this organ that pretty much runs the show, decides how much energy you have, decides what your hormones are going to do. Are you going to get, I have the hiccups, sorry. You're just talking that right before the show, how I get hiccups when I try to talk too fast. I will try to slow down. So these are some of the things that your liver, if it's not working correctly, can cause: obesity, toxicity, diabetes, allergies, infertility, on and on and on, as I look at the webs that the liver is attached to in the body and all the systems. And fatty liver really starts with cholesterol. So we might look at a bit at that too. We are sponsored this evening by the Sound Health Portal. And one of the things that you can do is go to the Sound Health Portal and go to services, and you can get a vocal print. And today we have Corona, Parkinson's, Gardasil, stem cells, biodiet, neuroplasticity, and I'm trying to get them to add cholesterol and fatty liver. But you can also go sign into the portal, and there's a 2-week free trial for anybody who's attending here, and you can have them do, or ask them to help you do, a cholesterol evaluation and a fatty liver evaluation. We'll also give you information this evening to use Nano Voice, which is free, to find out where you might stand in terms of your liver status. So a fatty liver, excuse me, causes inflammation. And one of the things I found is really good for inflammation, turmeric, and something called benfotiamine, which is a lipid form. And the liver loves lipids, fats. a liver form of B1. So it can cause a metabolic syndrome, which you can also test on the portal. It's about the cells and the energy of the cell and what happens. And that can in turn throw a toxic load and kidney disease. So there's a lot of things involved in this. I'm Sherry Edwards, your host for this evening. Also the director of the Institute of Bioacoustic Biology and Sound Health. I started this in the 80s because my ears and my voice have unusual properties. So we can take a 30-second sample of your voice, and based on what we have found in the last 30 years, we can give you some powerful information about what is going on with you, just 30 seconds. Now, MIT and the Mayo Clinic and a lot of other places have picked this up, and they're estimating that it's worth $2.7 billion by way of vocal prints, and being able to look at your vocal print and predict what's going to happen to you. We even know the numbers that show you're going to pick up coronavirus really easily, and it's the same frequencies as quercetin. That's a biflavonoid. It's that white stuff inside a grapefruit peel, and it will help protect you. We put that out about a year ago, and a lot of people have picked it up. We also put out in December of 2019, since we had been following flus and viruses for years, that the coronavirus, COVID, as you know it, they changed its name, is man-made. It doesn't act like a natural virus. It's too perfect mathematically. And now everybody's picking it up and saying that is man-made. And when you look at some of the things going on with Fauci, you'll see that through one of his subsidiaries, he made a statement that coronavirus was not sponsored by NIH in no way, National Institute of Health, but there was a grant that was given through an ECHO Foundation that Fauci is associated with, that did give money to the Wayne lab to help produce this. So go back and look at those, read the information, look at it in your own mind, what's really going on. Don't take my word for it. I think we used frequency from the beginning. Is frequency our new medicine or an ancient mystery revealed? I think it's both. New medicine because we can look at your voice through a computer and see what's going on and almost instantaneously get out a report, and we're going to try to do a report. We have a volunteer tonight. Our name is Rosanna. She will be with us shortly, but we are going to show you how to look at somebody's voice almost instantly by the frequencies of the voice. Just 30 seconds. We know that through the voice, the body has the ability to self-diagnose and to reorganize itself. That's true, absolutely, because if you cut yourself, you don't have to think about it. Your body does it. It diagnoses that you were cut, and it reorganizes and fixes it. It sends calcium to the site, and calcium as a manager said, oh, we need this, this, and this, and let's begin to reconstruct and fill up this hole so that there's no break in that magnetic pattern of the skin. So absolutely, the body can heal itself. Bioacoustics, and we call this bioacoustic biology. It's not medical, it's not musical, it is mathical, and that really is a word. It means like magical math. And that's what we have been doing by looking at the frequencies and the patterns of your frequencies. And we can look at 16 layers deep of what is going on with your body, and even look at predictive things. Like my numbers say that I am going to die of kidney disease. So I'm very careful with what's going on with my kidneys. Dr. Apsley was one of the very first people, medical people, that helped us. And we didn't tell him what we were doing mathematically, but I had modified Einstein's theory and he recognized it. He sent us one of the first clients we ever had, a little girl that had Down syndrome. And by giving her the frequencies that her voice said she needed, the down forehead went away, the clubbed fingers went away. She couldn't jump up off the ground, but she ended up in the Special Olympics doing gymnastics. Her parents were awed, and so was Dr. Apsley. I am so happy that he gave me the courage to approach the medical community about all of this. We now have classes, many layers of classes, from the beginning guest level, and we give you software to play with. We have a technician level, we have professional levels. They are ongoing, they are online, and we would like to train somebody in every community so that we can have a bioacoustic center available if it's ever needed. And how many of you know a healthy person, a totally healthy person? So there's a lot of people out there that need our help. So when you begin to attend our guest level courses, you'll get 2 software links to use, 2 weeks free, 1 nutrition provider, and Muscle Master templates. So you can do reports for people right out of the gate. There is a bioacoustic manual, instructions. It's all online 24/7. It's there for you because we want to make a difference and we want to be prepared when people start messing with our health freedom. That's so close to my heart, that health freedom is our God-given right, that we need to do what we need to do for our bodies. Nobody can tell us we can't eat meat, we can't drink cow's milk. I was appalled when this company put out canned milk and said this is better than mother's milk. I could not believe their advertising, and they thought that we would swallow that garbage. So we need to put our thinking and our discriminating hat on and begin to look at advertising and what is really going on. And every day you can look at your own nutrition, you can look at your own muscles, and what muscle hurts or is out of sync really tells you what nutrition you need. So we can talk about that later, or I'll just show you one now and bring it over. This is a little bit of the back muscles. So the supraspinatus, which you see here, is associated with the same frequency as serine. And serine helps make bile salts. And without serine, you get a very fatty liver. So we have made these up for people. We have PowerPoints about them and how you can use them. So we want to help give you as much information as possible. You will also receive a Bioacoustic Basics textbook, and it'll tell you the old way and the new way online to use bioacoustic and vocal profiling. There's 2 ways: a time domain, which gives you how, now, brown cow, give you 4 hits, and it will tell you what note it is. And each note indicates something else. Just by trial and error, we have learned this. And then frequency domain, you get much more specific. This is from a study we did about aspartame. And we had some people drink diet pop and it didn't affect them at all. And some people, this aspartame showed the toxicity. So they were susceptible. And that's how they can do the studies, because it affects some people and not others. I was amazed by that. We also have available for you a 2-volume set, professionally done, Miracles of Non-Medicine, and it's about the doctors who work with us. And we are providing that to you for free as some of your marketing materials. So we're going to be using the long way around in class if you'd like to, and you can download Abacus or Abacus P when you first start, and you can choose which templates you want to be using, but cholesterol would be a good one if you want to look at fatty liver, and fatty liver would be. So we take the print, we look at the frequencies, and then we compare it to the databases that we have built. So once you go on to the advanced classes, you get more information from our program called the Abacus. You can see what frequencies your medications are. You can look and see what's compatible with your body. People, medication, places. It's an awesome kind of thing to study because we are frequency-based individuals. We are influenced by frequency all the time. And if the frequency of sugar is very high on your chart, then you shouldn't probably eat sugar because it shows that you're very influenced by it. You're overdosed. It's a problem. So you can look at vitamin C and vitamin D. All this runs, all these nutrients run through your liver. Everything that you eat, everything that, I think everything that you think. I think anger goes through the liver, but I can't really prove that. So we're going to look at the hormonal role and also the neutralizing, because things come in like glyphosate and it gets into your liver and clogs up your liver and clogs up your receptor sites. That's from Roundup, by the way, and it's causing a lot of problems with our brain and a lot of our organs. And the liver helps detoxify that stuff before it ever does damage. And if your liver is fatty, it's not working well. So there's a lot of things that can help you with that. There's a lot of herbs online. Silymarin, turmeric is one of them, to help detox the liver. The liver, they can chop off a piece of it and it will regrow itself. So it is an awesome, awesome organ. Cholesterol is essential. They try to tell you it's bad and they make you want you to take statins. We had a guy come in here, his cholesterol was like 52. He couldn't walk, he couldn't turn around. And they wanted me to help drive his cholesterol lower. You need cholesterol for your brain, you need cholesterol to think, you need cholesterol for cell communication, you need cholesterol to myelinate, to can't think of the word, the outside covering on your nerves. When people get something like Parkinson's, it's because that myelin sheathing has been eaten away. So the signal starts from the brain and it goes down the nerve and gets waylaid because it doesn't have enough insulation so that it doesn't go where it ought to go. It's like having an electric cord that is broken. So if you touch it, you'd get shocked. That plastic is there to keep the electricity going in the way that you want it to. And without cholesterol and this myelin sheathing, all kinds of signals get sent other places. So cholesterol is extremely important. It's the fatty stuff of the body, but your body loves fat and loves lipids. It helps protect a lot of things. So you really want to look at your cholesterol. And there's little handheld devices now that you can get at Amazon or wherever. And they can test your cholesterol and your sugar and your uric acid, which is why your joints hurt. You don't have enough, the right kind of proteins in it. these little crystals get in your joints and cause a problem. And we have a template for that too, and frequencies for it. I went to a podiatrist, a foot doctor, and I said, we have a frequency that can take away gout pain. And he looked at me and he said, why would I need it? That's a lot of my client base. That's a lot of money that comes into here. I was wrong door again. So what does cholesterol-related diseases cause? Good grief, look at this. Multiple sclerosis, ALS, transport of fluids, high blood pressure, neuropathy, diabetes, weight management, peripheral neuropathy, peripheral artery disease, vascular disease, which is what Biden has. So lots and lots of things. And what causes cholesterol to get out of balance? Fatty liver. So they go hand in hand of what's happening in the body. And it affects this nerve signaling in the body so that your liver can talk to your pancreas and so forth. If that doesn't happen, your systems begin to go down and not cooperate with each other, and disease happens. So testing your cholesterol, maybe we should do that first and look at some of the reports. I'll see if we have time. So there's bad cholesterol. You can remember with L, low density lipids, bad, low grades are bad. So that's the bad stuff. The HDL, high density, is the good cholesterol. And they usually do a ratio. Medical experts believe that the HDL helps remove the excess cholesterol from the heart's arteries and liver. And one of the things that can really pull out the bad fats is B3, niacin. I keep B3 around all the time because if I eat something fatty, it bothers my pancreas. But I take some B3 and it helps move the fat through the system. I don't think I'm allowed to tell you that. So cholesterol comes from foods and cheese, mostly man-made things, except eggs, and there's a big lie about eggs. The white and the yellow of the egg go together to make a perfect set for your cholesterol. They help digest each part of the egg together, so it's very synergistic. So here's where sources of cholesterol come in. But I have to put this in there, egg yolks. But if you eat the whole yolk, it doesn't make much difference. One of the things they did with a government project is they said babies were getting too fat and they could only have low-fat milk. And it just really caused a problem. Babies need fat. I don't think they need soy because that really messed, my kids were allergic to my milk even. And we tried to feed them soy and it made them very allergic. But my kids are in the 50s, so it's too late now. I didn't know any better when I was having my kids. Here's the little cardio check. I just looked online for this today and the price is up by $100. They do have some less expensive ones. Just kind of look at the bottom. But it's worth it because the one I looked at today also did your sugar, your cholesterol, and your uric acid. Lots of good fats naturally. Avocados, wonderful. Coconut is a wonderful source of fat, and coconut milk. Statin drugs, I think, is one of the worst things that can happen to your cholesterol. It artificially reduces the mevalonate and really causes havoc with your cholesterol. I'm not allowed to say I wouldn't recommend it, but I wouldn't. So this is what the cholesterol does. It makes the bile salts with taurine, cysteine, serine, I can't remember the fourth one, to help you digest the fats. It makes your hormones. It synthesizes vitamin D for you and helps with the vitamin D receptors, which are really, really important with COVID. But there's cholesterol that you make naturally, like in your family and your liver. And then there's dietary cholesterol, which we just showed some of. You need to balance that. And I think B3 is a really good balancer for cholesterol. And statins are made from red rice yeast. I can't remember the name of the ingredient, but it's one of the things that'll come up in your report. This is all the things that go into cholesterol and what's going on. We've taken all of this and we've put it into a computer program so the computer can look at any piece of this and where you might be stuck. And then we can give you frequencies to sort of help you with that, help kick it in. We have a video called Good Vibrations, a doctor referral, a little girl, she looks to be about 10. She's actually 13. Her growth hormones did not kick in, so it was a failure to thrive. And with frequency, we were able to kick in those growth hormones. And it was like an absolute miracle to me and for her family. So these are some of the things we look for in the cholesterol, which is directly connected to the liver. Mevalonate is the thing that really gets out of sync with the rest of your body. And it's the note of D that causes the issue. And this is kind of a picture of a bad liver and what it causes and all the fat. And I thought it was gross, so I put it up here. Let me check and see if Rosanna has come in yet, because it's time for us to take a vocal print. And I don't see her here. We will need to think about talking to somebody else if Rosanna doesn't show up. We have created something called pathways in chemistry. Well, what we've done is create mathways. So if any of these math pieces, if this plus this doesn't equal this, then we know there's a problem with the body's cholesterol, and we can identify it and try to help you undo it with nutrients or herbs, or just give the information to your medical provider. But this is just that pathway of how the mevalonate interferes with what's going on with the body. And this is also in the computer program. This is a book by Hannah Yosef, great book about how statins really lower your cholesterol, which shrinks your brain, does a lot of other things. So we got in contact with Stephanie Seneff, S-N-E-F-F. She's from MIT. She's been on our radio show a lot. If you can find anything from her, she'll tell you the same thing, that statins really wreck the body. There is Stephanie. They put her husband on statins, how she got into this work, and it nearly ruined his life. It really wreaks havoc with your reproduction system and infertility and your balance and your muscles and muscle deterioration. It really disturbs coenzyme A, and that's what she talks about a lot. So Nano Voice, this is free on soundhealthoptions.com. So if we're going to look here, this is the Nano Voice that you can use. Just click on it and just follow the directions of what's happening. But Nano Voice looks at 12 different notes, and the cholesterol notes are like G, G sharp. So we'll look at that in a minute. And it looks at different layers. So you can check out your cholesterol in this whole pathway and what notes are associated with it. So cholic acid is G sharp, cholesterol is a G. So if you look at the Nano Voice, and you can just talk to it right on the internet and see which one of these notes are too high or too low. You need a balance, sort of halfway up. You don't want your cholesterol way up here, and you don't want it way down. You need a balance. So renin, all of these things are associated with your cholesterol. Do a screen grab of this, and you wouldn't have to write it all down, but we're recording this so you can watch it afterwards too. But just know that you want all your cholesterol information about halfway up. And we have a set of Sonocards that is just for cholesterol that lists all this for you. So here's some of the other things: mevalonate, arginine. So these are some of the things that need to be in balance for your liver to be in good working order. And there's the cholesterol-based Sonocard. So if you have too much C, you come down here and you look, okay, I need the enzymes asparaginase and SOD and bromelain. These are the muscles, these are the biochemicals associated with it. And you can just call the office if you'd like a set of those, and just go around testing people's cholesterol. So when you take the first course, we teach you about abacus and about cholesterol, and we add things to it as we go along, compounding it, methylation mapping, heart tracker, Alzheimer's. These are all things that you can add to your basket of goodies about helping people with their health. Foods that lower cholesterol: oatmeal, omega-3 fatty acids, walnuts, almonds, olive oil, artichoke, yarrow, garlic, red rice yeast. Foods that stress cholesterol levels. And I added the microwave popcorn here because it has such bad oil in it. Fried, battered foods, peanuts, and these are the roasted kind. Vegetable oils, Crisco, hydrogenated oils. A lot of information here. This is why we go ahead and make these recordings available to you, because it's a lot of information. You just can't get it. Okay, I'm looking for Rosanna, our volunteer, and it doesn't look like she's here. Roberta, will you volunteer to help me walk people through this whole system and what happens?
Okay.
Okay, we start with something called Audacity, and you can download that. And in the booklet that we give you, it gives you instructions on how to set up your preferences. And I'm trying to hurry because we only have about a half hour left. So it shows you how to set this up. This is the timer. So you have somebody with a good mic on the other end, and there's a listing in the booklet. I'm going to hit the red dot here. And you can do this right on the portal, soundhealthportal.com. But being online like I am, I can't use the portal right now. So we're going to do this the long way. By using Audacity, I'm going to hit the red button, and Roberta's going to talk. I would suspect she has no cholesterol issues, but she'll tell us about that. You ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and
Hello.
talk.
Okay, you'll have to stop it right here. I'm not sure if I have cholesterol issues or not. I didn't the last time I was tested, but anything could change. I've been trying to eat better and have lots of fruits and vegetables and less dairy and wheat. So hopefully that will help in all areas, because some of those things are surprisingly giving me issues that I didn't think were going to happen. So.
Okay, I let it go to 36 seconds because right here at the beginning, it was me saying, okay, go. So I'm going to cut that out. And if you have a door slam or cat meow or something, you want to cut it out. And many people cause a problem when they say, I want to save this. You have to export it. If you save it, you get a VPF file, which we can't use, but export audio. And I have mine already set up so it goes in waves online. So Roberta online, save it, and remember where you put it. Okay, now we're going to go to the portal. And when you sign up for the portal, you get your own subscription, your own cache. Okay, I'll take Rosanna's name out of there and put in Roberta online. You can fake a birthday, but this is how we use our data when people or our practitioners need to know who has heart disease that lives in Utah that's over 50, or they'll have some strange request. So that's why we use a birthday. Roberta, you want to give me yours, or you want me to fake it?
Oh, I'll give it 12/14/66.
And female, and you're in California?
Washington State.
Ah. I thought you were in California. I'm not going to put her email. I don't want that out to the public. But down here, you can fill in things and the computer will help you with what's going on. It'll make suggestions for you. Do we have liver here? Kidney, liver. Do we have cholesterol? Changes you may not be saved. Why is it doing that to me? I want to cancel. So I'm going to come up and save and continue. This is all in the booklet, step by step. And I don't know why it's doing that to me and saying you need to leave. So I hit cancel, didn't do anything, just. So I'm going to hit leave and see what happens. Oh, I didn't sign in. Everybody gets a password. I did not sign in. So Roberta might not be there when we get back. She's not, so we have to say new and do it again. $12/18/66.
14, but it doesn't matter.
And Washington. And you don't have to fill out anything at the bottom. It just, the computer will help you if you do. And save and continue. And we have to bring in her voice file. So new, and I've taught it to go to these this particular WAV file. And you can say, I really want to know what totally is going on with her voice. So you go up to this green and yellow thing and click, and it'll give you a summary of what's going on. Is her issues long-term? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is it predicted? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Is it current? Well, a lot more issues with current than anything else. And I'll show you on the vocal print where that is an issue. So we go to summary and it says cachexia 7.7. Go by percentage. I would not believe cachexia for you. It's balance. It's left and right brainedness. You could go look it up. Thyroid. Have you ever had trouble with your thyroid? So this sort of gives us an idea of what is going on. I'm just going to say, okay. And it tells us, if we're looking here at something mental, it tells us 1.2 depression, 1.7 Alzheimer's. So it gives you some root cause of what's going on, but that's kind of over most people's head. I'm just going to save and continue and show you that we should say a new evaluation. I have to hurry here. So we say pull the points, and I want to pull them current. And what's going to happen here is it's going to, well, it should bring in your wave. And when this blue is normal, so to speak, this is too low. Now I'm using a good Samson mic, but it's telling me that that beginning information is too low. Maybe because it's coming through the computer. But we said pull the points, and it went in and pulled the highs, +1, +2, +3, and she has a couple +3s here. -1, -2, -3, these are things that are too low. And so we're going to ask the computer what is really going on here. Let's choose a template. And we could choose one or many. So let's choose fatty liver first, and then come back and pick up cholesterol. There's about 300 different templates here. So disturbing liver, that's something like cirrhosis or something like that. Fatty liver, she has 89 hits. Anything above 50 is significant. Fatty acids, not so much. So that's the template we're going to look at. And so immediately it comes up with information. But what you want to do for your client is go to this little computer looking thing and say, I want to see the report. So this is what you can send directly to your client. 4 pages of information, that's not much. So you can see on the edge here, it gives us a ranking. The ones are the most important. She has adenylate kinase, an enzyme that's too low. I don't know what that is, so it has a blue line under it. Click. And that will tell you, we have all kinds of resources built in here. BAI1 receptor. Now that's one of the things that glyphosate is messing up a lot, is the receptors, especially the vitamin D receptors. So you can look up each one of these, and you can go to a different page. You can print this. You can load it up and send it right on an email. So here's all the, oh, it's continuing some ones here. And it's not going to show me. Well, you can see it's starting 2s and then 3s. So if we say I want to look at that and bind it up so that I can send it in an email, then we could open it and we can see all of those numbers on the side. So there's still some ones that she needs to look at. And we show you these because a receptor is a different formula from a biochemical, mathematically, and a different formula from a gene. So that's one of the things you learn in class. Cholic acid is low. That helps your brain think. It helps you make the good cholesterol. So cholic acid, I think you can get that in yeast, maybe. I can't remember. But it tells us what is going on. And we can send that right to our client. Excuse me a second, I have to sneeze. Sorry about that, I should have muted my mic. So we could download this so you could send it to your client. You could print it right here. But let's close it for now and look at some of these balances. Yellow, this is relevance. This is the worst issues in her chart, the yellow. So any of these things, and then that ranking tells you what you should work on first when it's saying this, this adenylate kinase, because it's too low. A role in cellular energy, a role in bile salts, which breaks down fats. So with a little sleuthing, you can get a pretty good picture of what's going on. 36 and 32, that's really similar, so I might work with those two things together. 24, that's too far away. So let's go back and look at combined cholesterol and fatty liver. Or we could do cholesterol first, but we can also separate it. This may look difficult, but it's just step by step by step. And the portal does most of the issues. So if we put cholesterol here and liver, you can see that the fatty liver is much more important than the cholesterol. There's only 19 hits here. So we would want to go for fatty liver first, but let's put them together and see if there's a relationship. We could put liver and heart, or liver and circulation, or liver and inflammation, and see what's going on. So insulin receptor, she's got a receptor site closed. I think there's 13 receptor sites for insulin. And when a lot of them go, then you get insulin resistance. We could put that in there too. This is some of the same thing that came up, and it has the same score, 36. We could go back and look at what this might be causing. Circulation, let's add that. Heart, circulation, can't spell heart, H-E-A. Kidney, and if you forget what you've done already, you can go down here and pick it up. We could look at cofattors, but you can see that heart is probably not involved. Circulation's probably not involved. Vascular, we could look at that. So you can look at a lot of stuff in priority of what is going on, and you can see what notes are really causing the issue. C and C sharp together are female reproduction. For a man, it's F and F sharp, and there's a fatty liver. There's usually a reproduction hormonal issues. So you can click as many as 10 of these at a time. We found a really good thing for varicose veins too, called benfotiamine. It really helps support the vascular system, but she only has one, so that's not an issue. Hypoxia oxygen. These have to have more than 50 to really be significant. NSYNC is a bundle, a lot of things together. You can see digestive, cardiovascular, muscular. So there's several bundles. There's a mental bundle, there's a depression bundle. So in her case, anything above 50, checkpoint is a bunch of stuff together too. Lymph, anything above 50, we could just put in here and see what her major issues are. This gives you the priority of what you should look for. Progesterone is low. Usually when progesterone is low, the skin right below your chin to your chest, called the platysma, that usually starts to become weak. Insulin, here's another diabetes thing. So is that in your family, Roberta? Any diabetes?
Yes, a lot of it.
Okay, well, we should monitor you and watch you for that because you have a couple of indicators. Epstein-Barr virus is low. Who cares? Don't pay any attention to it. And if you have a longevity gene and it's really high, leave it high. So just use your common sense. From what you've seen here, Roberta, do you have any questions?
No, not at the
Okay.
moment.
Okay, we'll go over here and we'll make a report for you so that you can see what the priorities are. You don't have to think much when you do this or when you take these courses, and especially when you're making reports for people, because you're making reports to give them guidance of what to talk about with their wellness provider, their person who they trust. So these reports come out, and this one is a combination of all these things. And of all of these, what does she need to do first? ACAT, acetyl coenzyme A genome is low. And we have that built in also. I don't know which to show first. So these are the things that you should work on first. Catalase formation of AMP and ATP. Now I know I'm going to go to the other piece. Because as we look at, we can look at the Krebs cycle. And when you look at hers, this is the map. And this is where oxygenation starts. And cyclic GMP is what helps a man sustain an erection. And that issue starts here also. But you had another one. What was the other one here that was, oh, acetyl-CoA. A pyruvate, which mixes with oxygen and gets rid of lactic acid and sore muscles. If you don't have enough pyruvate, then you keep sore muscles and you sit too long and your muscles are sore because you don't have enough pyruvate. You get fibromyalgia. All the vitamins and minerals come through here and they combine at coenzyme A. And then that starts the whole Krebs cycle that gives your body energy and causes your body to get up and fight and do what it ought to do if we give it the right stuff. So this is a pretty important piece. And statins really interfere with this coenzyme A here. So when you come to classes, and we have classes every Sunday that teach you new things about all of this, and we have about 500 Vimeos and demonstrations, just like this one is on fatty liver. What do you do with a client? There's hormonal issues and dietary issues, and it's probably the liver. You want to start with cleaning up the liver. Inflammation is a really big one too that you could start with. But you can go down through here and talk about each one of these things, like being able to say to her, do you have diabetes in the family? Because there's a couple of insulin indicators of that, of insulin resistance. So we can run her through insulin resistance and see what we ought to work on. The predictive part of this is just absolutely incredible. We could run through muscles and see what weak or strong muscles are. What do we, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we ran 10 different things. And you can look at these by the note, mostly notes of G in her case. And they're mostly low. A lot of times when you see a lot of G notes, it's magnesium. And look at how many G's there are here. And G and A sharp are notes that are one note away. G, G sharp, oh, it's 4 notes away. So that's nutritional when there's 4 notes away. So a lot of this information is like little secrets about numbers and how numbers go together and how you use all of them. We can do this by template and see which template has progesterone low. You know, Ray Peat has a Progest E that is the best I've ever found. It's, I can't remember the company, but I'll get it for you and send it to you. Lita Lee, who's a biochemist and one of the practitioners, turned me on to it. And you can take this oil and put 3 drops on your abdomen if you have menstrual cramps, 18 minutes, and the progesterone will take away the cramps. It's amazing stuff. So lots of little tidbits. We hope that you, it's 8:32, okay? Somebody's reminding me of what time it is. We really appreciate all of you being here, and we see that fatty liver is also associated with Alzheimer's, and we see a big surge in that. So we're going to do another presentation about fatty liver and Alzheimer's. So we hope you can join us for that. We love it that you have joined us for this. There's many more on Vimeo under my name, Sharry, S-H-A-R-R-Y, Edwards. We will put this up in the morning along with any links that we think you ought to know about it. Please look at Sound Health Options. There's lots of articles there, lots of information about COVID and what to do about it to keep yourself safe, and a lot of the information that we've gained through the numbers. Our rose-colored wish that all of you become part of the Bioacoustic family and bring this to your neighborhood, because we think this is the medicine of the future. And we certainly want to support your health freedom as well as the best future you can have. So thank you for being here. If I don't know if you can grab the chat on my end, if I go to File and I say Save Chat Log, then it saves the chat for next time. I didn't get to follow the chat. From now on, we are going to do these webinars only as meetings, so you guys can chat back and forth and open your mic. Gail has had her hand up all through this, and I couldn't get to her to see what question she had. But if you want to write to me, Sharry, S-H-A-R-R-Y, on air @gmail.com, and I will try to get back to you. And we are certainly glad that you were here.